Let's edit letterheads and documents in Photoshop. So here is a template of appointment letter. We will be changing some of the text content as well as some of the images inside this letterhead or appointment letter. This is an appointment letter of an employee, so we will do some changes here because we need to have an appointment letters for different employees. So if we have appointment letters for different employees, we may have to change some of the important content in it. For example, we have to change the date, we have to change the name of the employee, we also have to change the designation of the employee, but the basic content of that particular company will be the same for all employees. So let's start doing it. So for example, we will be changing some of the dates, and also we will be changing the designation, and also we'll be first removing this logo, the company logo over here, and also there is some website address that is behind the text content here. It is hidden, and this entire file is a JPEG file, so means we cannot directly edit or change the text. This is an image file. So if we are to remove some of the content from image files, we have to use certain tools in Photoshop. We cannot just use the type tool and start typing, right? So what we'll be doing is, first we will unlock the background, and we'll first remove this blue color company logo, and also some blue color text related to the company from the background. So what we'll be doing is, we will apply a hue and saturation adjustment layer. So here is the hue and saturation adjustment layer, and once we have applied this hue and saturation adjustment layer to this particular letterhead or appointment letter, so here we have the option that is to pick that particular color. We have to tell hue and saturation which color we are trying to remove. So we will just click on this icon, and we will just pick that particular color here, right? So the hue and saturation has identified that particular color as blue, so we can see here. Now all we have to do is, we will just increase the lightness here, so we can see the text or the blue color content behind the text is going away, but still some amount of content is still visible here. So for that, here we have the sliders at the bottom. We will just try to move them. So if we move them to right, it is coming back, so we have to move it to the left, so we can see here. So it's almost gone. Right, we can still see some logo over here. So for that, what we'll be doing is, we will just select this letterhead layer. Here we will use the marquee tool, and we will just draw a selection around this logo. We'll just pick this particular color. This color is actually the white color. So what we'll be doing now, we'll fill this white color inside this selection. We'll simply use Alt backspace in PC or Option backspace in Mac. That's it. So the first task is completed. We are able to remove the logo and the blue color image that is lying behind the text. Right, now let's try to change some of the dates as well as some of the other text content. Right, so we'll be selecting the topmost layer, and we will now use a shortcut That is, we are going to create a merged copy of these two existing layers. Instead of merging these two layers, let's create a merged copy of these existing layers. So the shortcut is Ctrl Alt Shift E in PC or Command Option Shift E in Mac. Right. Now let's zoom into the image. So what we'll be doing now is, see here the date is 2021. So we need to change it to 2023. So the main issue that we are going to face here is we don't know exactly what these fonts are. We don't know which font exactly matches this particular font. So instead of trying to find the exact font in our system, let's do something. Let's do a simple thing here. So here all we have to do is we have to change this 2021 to 2023. So for that, let's try to pick the 3 that is over here, and let's try to put this particular 3 over this 1, and we will also be removing this one. So for that, we'll use the rectangular marquee tool. Let's draw a selection around this one, and we have to pick the same white color, and we will fill this selection with this particular white color. Right. So now that one is gone, now we have to just put 3 besides this 2. So for that, we will have to first pick this 3. So how we can pick the 3? So we can pick the 3 by using a lasso tool. We can just carefully draw a selection, and if you think it's difficult to draw a selection, we have to zoom into that 3, and we will just use the lasso tool here, and we will just carefully draw a selection around this 3. Right. The next thing we are supposed to do is we will just right click inside this selection, and if we want only the 3 and we don't want this white background that is surrounding the 3, there is one more thing that we can do. Here we can go to select menu, and here we have the option color range, and we can just see here. But the issue over here is it's not just selecting the 3, it's also selecting some unwanted objects. Let's cancel it. Let's do one thing. Let's remove the selection first, and we will just zoom into the image properly, and let's try to again draw a selection. Let's ensure that only the number 3 is selected, and again we will just go to the color range. Okay, now only 3 is selected. We can still see some unwanted object, but let's get the selection. Make sure that the fuzziness is maximum, and we will just click OK. Right. So now the 3 is selected. Right. We can zoom out a little bit, and now just we will copy this 3. We'll right click inside the 3, and here we have the option layer via copy. So means we are creating a copy of this 3 in separate layer, and we will use the move tool, and we will just hold shift and right arrow key to just move the 3 besides the 2. Right. So we can just zoom out. And one issue we are facing right now is the 3 is appearing a little bit light. So we can do one thing. We can make the 3 a little bit dark by just taking one more duplicate of this. So we can simply use Ctrl J in PC or Command J in Mac. Right. So now this looks perfect. We can just merge these 3 layers. We can simply use Ctrl E in PC or Command E in Mac. Right. So we have successfully changed the date. Right. Now we will change one more thing here. So here we have front end developer. This is the designation of this particular employee. So he is a front end developer, but we will change the front end developer to back end developer. So means we have to remove this word front and replace it with back, right? So for that, what we'll be doing is, first we will remove this front. So we'll just draw a selection around this front, and we will just fill this selection with the same white color. We can simply use Alt backspace in PC or Option backspace in Mac. Right. Now we just have to put back. So we can find a letter B, letter A, letter C, letter K. So we don't know what all these fonts, just like the date, we cannot just find the appropriate font for these letters, because we don't know exactly which font they have used here, because this is a JPEG image. So what we can do is, we can do the same old trick here. We can just pick the letters from the same document. For example, we have to put back end, so we need the word back. So for back, here we can see, here we have this Bangalore. So from Bangalore, we'll be just picking this BA, and just like before, we will just go to the select menu, and here we have the color range. So the color range will be picking these letters BA. Make sure that the fuzziness is maximum, and now we will just right click inside the selection, and here we have the same option, layer via copy, right? And now we will just take the copy which is pasted in a new layer, and we will put it over here. So we'll just use shift down arrow. We'll just move it with the move tool. So here we can see, right, we can use arrow keys, up arrow, down arrow, left arrow, right arrow, right? But one thing we can observe again, so this BA is not appearing dark, so we will just take a duplicate of this, right? So now this looks fine. Now we need to find C and K. So there is a K over here, so we will pick the K from this Nikhil Kumar, and we can find C here. So there is also C over here. So first we will get the C. So we will again merge these three layers here, right. So let's now get C and K. So let's use the lasso tool here. Let's start with C, and we will be carefully drawing a selection using the lasso tool around this C, right? And just like before, we will just go to select color range, and here we have picked the C, and we will just right click, and here we have the option layer via copy, right? And we will use shift and arrow keys to move the copy of C besides these letters B and A, right? So something like this. So now we only need one thing, that is K. So we can find K over here, but again the seal is appearing a little bit light, so we will take a duplicate of this layer, right? Now the seal looks fine. And one more thing is, we will just merge all these three layers. Okay, and we can do one more thing. There is a little space besides this C, so we can do one thing. We'll simply just do the same trick actually. So we can just go to the select menu, and here we have the option color range. So we have selected these three letters, and we'll simply click OK. And this time what we'll be doing is we will just right click inside the selection, and here we have the option layer via cut. We have taken these three letters from this particular layer and we have pasted in a brand new layer. Pasted these letters in a brand new layer. So if we try to move them, so we can see here we got some issues, right? So we will fix these issues. We will first remove the disturbance that is over here. So we can just fill this selection with pure white color, right? And we will first keep these letters aside, and we will also get the letter K. So here we have the letter K. Make sure that we select appropriate layer. So the K is in this particular layer, and we will go to select, and here we have the option color range, and we have picked this K. And again, just like before, we will just right click inside the selection and we will select the option layer via copy, right? And then we will just use the move tool and just move this K besides this C, right? And again we will take a duplicate of this letter K so that it appears dark, right? So then so what we can do is we can just merge these three layers, and again we will take a duplicate of this layer so that the letters appear a little bit dark, right? So now just we will use the arrow keys and the move tool, and we can just move these letters besides this and developer. Okay, first we have to merge these layers, and now we'll just use the arrow keys and move tool to just move them besides the end developer. Make sure that we align these letters properly with other words, right? So here we have successfully edited our document. We have changed the date, we have changed the front end to back end, and we have also removed the logo. So now this appointment letter looks like a new appointment letter. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Please do like, subscribe, share, and if you have anything to say, do comment. See you again.